the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on this Friday. We're glad that you joined us here on this Friday, whenever it is and wherever it is that you join us. We always love to hear your comments and interact with you, and we appreciate you making Auburn Blitz part of your watch here on your podcast tour. We know you have a lot of options out there, but a lot of you continue to add us, and we appreciate it so much. It's great to see Faith this morning, and Faith's always bringing the sunshine to our program because it's always the best day ever, right, Faith?
It is. Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. Fridays are always really, really good. Every day's great, but I think everybody loves Fridays a little bit more, and it's game day for Auburn in the Sweet 16, and it's time to shine. Like I said down here at the bottom of the screen, 4 teams have already punched their ticket to the Elite Eight yesterday afternoon and last night, and there'll be 4 more punching tickets tonight. Hopefully Auburn's one of those. I know we'll go over those games from last night here in just a little bit, kind of break down this Auburn-Michigan game one more time before we actually see what happens tonight and kind of give some takes. I know some quotes out there from both Michigan and Auburn players. So a lot to dive into, but first things first, as always, we appreciate all of our partners here on the program. Sense of Green for air that is cool and clean. Call on Sense of Green. They are the carrier experts here in the state of Alabama, proud supporters of Auburn athletics and our Auburn Blitz podcast. Scout Program Management, a full-service construction management firm that will take you from the pre-construction phase all the way through the finished product, specializing in educational projects, new school builds, renovations, those type of projects. But they can help you in anything that you're looking for. Call on Scout Program Management and your official home for March Madness Bunkers. Really your official home for great entertainment, great food, great fun. Go on out and head to Bunkers tonight. If you did not do that last night, you can't make it to Atlanta, go to Bunkers. They've got all the TVs. They'll be able to have all the games up at one time, but I know everybody will be focused on that Auburn game somewhere around 9:30, 9-ish. Boy, it's going to be late. It's going to be a late tip, but looking forward to that and a lot of other things going on. But go out and check out Bunkers. The new bar that they built on the top end of the restaurant is outstanding. So go check it out on West Glen, 50 parking spots there. Faith, again, I guess we'll start with Auburn and Michigan going into tonight. There's a lot of storylines on this game when you look at it. A former Yale player in Wolf on this team, that's a big storyline because he was part of that Yale team that knocked Auburn out last year in the first round. Then you have Trey Donaldson, who spent a good amount of time at Auburn, was a key player for Auburn last year. He won an SEC tournament championship with Auburn. So many inside storylines. Got KT Harrell as an assistant coach for Michigan who played at Auburn, was a great player. Lots of intertwined stories here in this game.
Yeah, it's time for Auburn to lock in and actually put their heads down and know that a lot of these guys know our guys. And so with that being said, we have to go out there and play our best ball. And we saw some of that against Creighton in that second half. And if we can play like that throughout all 40 minutes of the game, there's no question that we're going to be making it.
Yeah, we're the better team.
Okay.
We're the better team. And but again, as we go back and look at some of those matchups from last night, some of those games were crazy for a lot of different reasons. It's really not about records at this point. It's about matchups. And sometimes you catch a team that's not a good matchup for you. And sometimes it is. And there's a couple of points that we've talked about throughout the week that we'll hit on again now. Number one being inside with Golden and Wolf. You got 2 7-footers. It's very rare in this day and age of college basketball that the inside game will take center stage the way this one probably will tonight. When you got two bigs on one team, for us, obviously Dylan and Janai, and then you got their two guys inside who happen to be their two leading scorers as well. So when you look at it from a standpoint of, where do they get, most of their points, who does most of the heavy lifting for them, it's those two guys. It's Golden and Wolf. Golden averages 16.8 points a game. Wolf averages 13 points a game. And had a question yesterday, Faith asked, how many minutes do those guys stay on the floor together? Well, most of them. Both of them are averaging, right at 30, 31 minutes a game. Depending on who, Golden averages about 28 minutes a game, and Wolf averages a little over 30 minutes a game. So they're on the floor a good amount of the time together. So Auburn's going to have to deal with that. And you and I both know that this Auburn basketball team has a tendency to get in foul trouble. So we're gonna watch that matchup closely and see how Auburn's able to handle that inside tonight.
Yeah, and like you just said, those big boys, they can make free throws. So if we go in there and we foul them, they're gonna make them. So we've got to be careful, and then we've really got to work on getting into foul trouble so early that we're pulling Chaney, we're pulling Dylan when we can't afford that right now.
Not at all. Not at all. There's a lot of things that you look at. So obviously inside and being able to play smart is going to be very important. We got to have all hands on deck for sure. The second point is turnovers. Michigan, when they turn the ball over more than 13 times, it's killed them this year. When they've turned it over less than 13 times, they're 12-2. Auburn has a tendency to cause a ton of turnovers. And I think Michigan, let me pull this up, 322 nationally in turnovers in that category, one of the highest turnover rate on offense of any team Auburn has faced this season. So Auburn's got to create turnovers. It's one thing to cause or have unforced turnovers as a team, but Auburn causes teams to turn it over by their intense defensive pressure and what they're able to do. And I ran off the stats on Denver yesterday, Faith, and against some of the top guards in the country. Mark Sears, Braden Smith, I can go down the list, and what their numbers were against him. And he's probably, if not one of the best defensive guard in the country. So I know some would argue and say Ziegler and all that, but I wouldn't trade Denver for anybody. So Trey Donaldson moves over to Michigan, and now he'll turn around and face the guy that really kind of took his spot. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup tonight.
Yeah, I think they're all still cool with each other. Trey left on great terms. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to really get the playing time that he deserves at Auburn when you've got Denver. And we've seen also what Tahad has brought to the table behind Denver. So I don't think they left on any sort of bad terms. But again, they know how they play, each other plays. And so it'll be interesting when Trey is he's gonna know exactly what Denver likes to do and what some of them Auburn boys like to do. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a really special moment for just Trey and then the Auburn guys in general. So
yeah, I mean, again, he was asked, does he stay in touch? And he's like, absolutely. He said, those are my guys. And so they said, well, do you cut it off during game week? He said, those are my guys. I mean, they're still going to talk. And, they obviously know a lot about each other. Here's what Trey Donaldson, one of the quotes he said. He said, I was there for 2 years, so I know how it operates. I know how everything runs. When you're around people for so long, you catch on to what they do for sure. I definitely have tried to help as much as I can with that aspect to give us the best chance to win. So yeah, they're going to lean on him, but it's like he also said. He said Coach Pearl's going to change up calls and signals and things like that. At some point in time, you just got to go out and play, and
Right.
you can dive so much into all this other stuff. Yeah, we know him. He knows us, but they're going to roll the ball out there, and the skill's going to end up taking over. So that's what when the rubber hits the road. And I'm looking for a good matchup. I really am. I think this Auburn team is poised, coming off, or should be coming off of a good performance against Creighton. Carry that momentum. I mean, we saw some teams last night really kind of grab the bull by the horns and really take control of games. And we're going to dive into that because we've got some comments coming in. A lot of them directed at you, Faith.
I know, guys. The Mormons couldn't pull it off. I'm just as disappointed as I think everybody was. They hung in there for the first half a little bit.
Nobody's pulling anything off when a team shoots a three. The threes like Alabama shot last night. I
think they had over 100 points with still 7 minutes, I think, left.
Right.
Or something. That was crazy. I said to you yesterday, I was like, yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I didn't think it was going to be that high-scoring at all. Early.
I don't really know. I don't really know what kind of defensive strategy, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. We'll finish up our talk with Michigan, and then we'll move over to those games from last night. So finishing up here, Auburn is favored by 8.5 tonight, and I think if Auburn comes out and does the things that they are capable of doing, they are an 8 to 10 point better team. Offensively, I broke the numbers down yesterday. I'll go back through some of those real quickly. When you compare it, Auburn leads every category, points per game, right at 84 points a game, and Michigan just over 78. And I know, again, when you look at it, you go, it's not that big a deal. It is a big deal when you stretch it out over a season. That's a lot of points. So pretty significant difference in points per game there for those two teams. Now, points allowed, very close. Auburn allows just over 69 a game, and Michigan allows just over 71. But, again, Auburn a little bit better on the defensive end. Turnovers a game, Michigan averages 13.9. That's high, very high. Auburn averages 9.3 a game. The only category Michigan leads Auburn in is rebounds, and it's extremely close. Auburn averages 37.3 rebounds a game, and Michigan averages 38.6. So just a little over one difference there. Field goal percentage, Auburn ahead by just a very small margin, 1 percentage point, 48.1 to 47.1. We do shoot the three better than them, 36.6 to their 33.3. And free throws, believe it or not, we're a little better than them. It doesn't feel like we're better than anybody at the free throw line here lately, but we're better than them across the board for the year, 73.2%, 72.7% for Michigan. So there's the breakdown, Faith. I mean, it's all in our favor regarding every category except for rebounds, and that one's close. So Auburn goes out and plays, high-level, intense basketball. We should be moving on to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important for us on the offensive rebounds against Creighton. We kind of saw that, or I was texting you about how we're just already back on our offensive rebounds whenever, and if we're going to be taking the shots that we did against Alabama State and some of the other games, it's like, why aren't we following our shots? Why aren't we underneath the net on some of those? And I think this is also going to be one of those games where offensive rebounds are going to be important.
Huge. Second and third opportunities at the basket are massive. And you saw Alabama do that last night. They got key offensive rebounds, kickouts, and, of course, they made it. Everything they shot went in. It's kind of crazy. Wayne said I would have put my fingers in Sears' nostrils. It's called deny. Yeah, the defense for BYU, and we'll shift over and talk about those games from last night. Was just baffling to me. I mean, BYU, I thought, had a good game plan of attacking inside and really were getting downhill and trying to get Alabama in foul trouble. And, partially it worked. But the problem is they couldn't hit a three, and Alabama hit everything. And so when you're trading threes for twos, the math just doesn't add up. And Alabama puts up 113 points, set the NCAA record for threes in a tournament game with 25. They shot 51 three-pointers. I mean, so they were right at 50%. Right at 50% making threes. They only shot 60. They shot 66 times, but 51 of them were from outside. So, look, sometimes all you can do is tip your hat. Sears had 34 points.
10 3-pointers made.
I mean,
10 of his 16.
Unconscious is an understatement for him. And look at Aiden Holloway, man. He had 23 points. He got overshadowed because Mark Sears had 34. Youngblood added 19. Omori had 10. I mean, you could break this thing down. But BYU shot 33s and only made 6. So think about this. Alabama made 25 and BYU shot 30. So they made almost as many as BYU shot. So just a wild game, 113 points. We knew it was going to be high scoring. I had a buddy of mine call me and asked me if I thought the point total would be over 180. And I told him yes. I didn't know it was going to be that much over. So it's crazy. Just a wild offensive game. I mean, BYU scored 88 points. Now, let's not diminish that. So
88 points can win you
most games.
113
Didn't
points?
come close. 113 points is going to win you every game. I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice out there and do that. So PJ said, what is the chance that Auburn could face Alabama again in the tournament? It would have to be in the national championship game. Faith and I talked about that a little bit yesterday. We kind of started stoking that fire. Alabama's in the Elite Eight. Auburn's got to take care of business now. And then we'll talk some more about these games from last night. But, I mean, with every round, you're inching one step closer to something that I don't think anybody in this state would ever have thought could be possible. I mean, I don't think we realize how close we really are to this happening. Close, but yet so far away, because you still got a lot of business to take care of. Both teams do before you can start looking at that. Ed said Trey left because JP Pegues was brought in. He was okay and understood all the other moves. I mean, the talk was already in the works. And, I think Trey's NIL deal and maybe some things that they wanted to do, they just couldn't get to the table on that. And, ultimately JP Pegues didn't work out. And it's been Denver and Tahad and Miles Kelly. So when you talk about Trey, and you know how much I like Trey, I would have loved to have kept Trey, but somebody wouldn't be playing as much that we have right now if Trey was on this team, and vice versa, or maybe he wouldn't be playing as much. So I'm going to say it worked out for both parties. I think it worked out fine for Auburn, and it worked out fine for Trey Donaldson. I mean, they're both in the Sweet 16. Trey's had a great year in Michigan. He won a Big Ten tournament championship. He won an SEC tournament championship last year with Auburn. I'd go out on a limb and say everything's worked out pretty good for him, and no bad blood.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if he and Mr. Yale ever.
Oh, I'm sure they give each other
about it.
That is kind of a unique relationship now that they're on the same team. And that's the crazy thing about the portal. You never know where you're going to be led and who you're going to be with. The team you beat last year may be one of your teammates from that team the next year. So that's what they have going on at Michigan right now. All right, Maryland and Florida. About what you and I thought. It was close. Maryland played Florida well for a while.
They did, yeah.
Alex Condon went out in that first half. You could tell it hurt him, but he came back. Florida wins the game pretty easily. They got their sea legs under them, and you and I said it. They're not going to play that bad anymore. They're not going to play the way they played against UConn. They kind of had an off night and scored 87.
Yeah, an off night scoring 87.
I mean, that's how good this Florida team is and how good they're playing. I don't think they ever really got panicked. They hit 11 threes last night, and they didn't shoot 51, but shot 28. But they made 11. Normally their typical players had good games. Will Richard, Walter Clayton Jr., Martin had 14. I mean, they spread it around. They're a tough team to defend. You can't take everything away. They got a great inside game. What's the common denominator here, Faith? All of these teams, Alabama, Auburn, Duke, Florida, Tennessee, all of these teams can get it done inside and outside. It's hard to defend and take away one thing or concentrate on taking away one thing because teams can just shift and they can kill you, in another way. So we got a lot of versatile teams, left in this tournament.
Yeah, they can, no matter what the defense is doing, they're going to accommodate and they're going to score points regardless. We're going to play defense. That's what we do. So we'll keep our opponent's numbers down. But these other SEC teams, they get it done scoring points no matter what.
They do. Absolutely. Tony said, like him or not, Mark Sears will be a star in the NBA. He said, won't be surprised if Duke score 100 against each other. Kyle said, watch the interview with CM1 this morning. Great job. There you go, Faith. That's a great opportunity for me to brag on Faith. She did an outstanding job with Cedarian Morgan. That's going to be the first of many interviews you're going to be seeing from Faith. Faith just a natural in front of the camera and does such a good job of preparing for these interviews and making the athletes comfortable and not putting them on the spot and making them squirm a little bit. You kind of sit down and bring them in, so kind of make it to where they feel like they've known you probably for 15 years. So the interviews I've seen you do so far with us. So if you have not seen Faith's interview with Cedarian Morgan, go check it out. It's on our YouTube channel. And we got links everywhere. You got to have your head in the sand if you can't find it. But it's a very good interview. I caught up with Cedarian, number one player in the state of Alabama in the 26th class, Faith. And I'll let you have the floor. It was your interview. What was your thoughts and takeaways of spending some time with Cedarian?
Yeah, he's first and foremost, he's a super humble guy. And I think it's a very, very hard thing to probably be that humble at such a young age and being the number one player in the state of Alabama, number one wide receiver. Like, he was so humble, and that was the very first thing that I was able to recognize. And he acted like he's known me for, like you said, 15 years. And it was the first time I'd met him, and he really treated me. I hate whenever we're doing on the road and people are, yes, ma'am. Okay. Like, that just is something that really makes me, okay, like, give me more than just yes, ma'am. Okay.
So y'all heard her, everybody. So make sure you call her ma'am from now on. It really she really loves it. Trust me.
Yeah. And so he was so good at communicating and talking. And I was able to, ask him about, obviously the NIL is something that's very, very prominent in recruiting right now. And I asked him, I was like, what is something that you're looking in a school? I know NIL is a big deal, but
Right.
is that something you're looking at? And the humbleness that came out of his mouth, he was like, I'm big on communication. I really want, like, to grow as an athlete and as a person and get developed. So NIL is just something that they can offer me, but I'm not going to go to the school that's giving me the biggest dollar sign. And I think that is a quality athlete. And we've talked about loyalty to programs. And I truly believe that he is somebody that will have that loyalty because he's going through this process of who's the best coach that can give me personally what I need to make it to the next level. And we don't see that too much these days.
We don't. You know, and I've known Sedarian a long time, you know that, and great person. And you're right. I mean, you got a chance to go walk the halls with me a little bit, and you heard everybody kind of, you know, taking shots at Sedarian, but it's all in good faith. They all love Sedarian. He's not a guy that walks around like he's better than everybody else.
Right.
And so he gets along with everybody, and he's just a likable person. So I had a bunch of texts last night after your interview went after you pushed it, you know, out, and they said, "All right, give us the inside scoop. Where's he going?" I'm like, we don't know. I mean, he didn't say, "Hey, man, this is where we're going," or "This is where I'm going." And so
no, he did tell us his 6 official
visits right?
that he's going to, but that's it. And we'll keep up with him. July 2nd is going to be his commitment date. So
we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll talk with him. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're all hoping he puts on orange and blue, but I mean, at this point, you know, I think it's pretty even with Auburn and Alabama in the state, and obviously Clemson's in the mix, and you'll have to tune in to Faith's interview. I'm not going to give them all away. You can see her interview with him, and he tells everybody what his 6 official. I know he's pushed that out, but if you haven't seen it yet, go watch, because there's a lot more in depth there with Sedarian other than just the surface stuff that we all talk about all the time, you know, stats and rankings and stuff like that. So good job, Faith. Very, very enjoyable interview. I enjoy being on the other side of the camera because I get to sit back and take it in and listen. So I'm kind of on the fan side of things too. While we're at this moment, I'll go ahead and stop. And I told everybody we had some pretty big news to announce. And Faith yesterday was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. And then when we got off, she's like, "Oh, that." And I'm like, so I'm about to tell everybody what "oh, that" is. We're proud to announce that Faith has joined us full time. I know a lot of you are like, "Well, hasn't she been full time?" Well, not really.
I've been out here working for free.
Yeah, she's been I'm slaving and working free. Can barely eat. Can't pay the rent. I mean, just a lot of just barely hanging on out there. But all in seriousness, she is official with us here at R&B Media, and she is our director of programming, content creation, and sales. So she is official with us here at R&B Media. She is full time, and we're excited about that. Yes, she's been part of our podcast to this point, but now she has a full-time big girl job here at R&B Media, and we're turning the reins over to her. Randy and I are handing the ball to her and letting her run with it, and we're excited about it and looking forward to the future of what we've got coming up this year and hopefully many more years to come. But let me say an official in front of everybody, congratulations to you, Faith. We're excited to have you part of our team. You're going to do an outstanding job, and I know everybody knows that already. I'm saying something that's probably a given, but appreciate what you've done to this point. It was fun to watch you in your internship with us and kind of see how you handle things, and it was a no-brainer for us. So congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm going to have a lot of exciting things start up and kind of just really get the ball rolling. And this is our precious little baby that we're taking care of and growing. So I'm excited to help grow it from the ground up and really take on some big responsibilities.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's exciting, but then it's scary at the same time. And hey,
it is, but I've got great people to help me, and I'm really excited to just kind of get this all moving, and we're going full speed ahead. That's for sure.
There's no doubt. Well, that's all we know is full steam. As Kyle says, you'll have to ask Randy on it for advice.
Everybody tells me that.
This is what I get. I mean, this is a common theme. So, I mean,
yeah. So everyone's telling me that, guys. I think I've got it under control at this point because I spent a long day with Brett yesterday, and
she hasn't run away after the internship and seeing me and Randy in our rare form a lot of times in business meetings. I think she's safe to stick around for a little while at least.
I told him, I said, hey, I just need a second. We've gone and talked to a lot of people. He said, you're giving me the hand already? I said, I'm working for free. Hang on.
Yeah. And then I was like, is it too late for me to rip this contract up? But anyway, no, it's all in good fun. PJ said, welcome to the team, and y'all keep up the great job. I talk about y'all at work. PJ, we appreciate you, Kyle, even though you talk about me, Kyle. Appreciate all of you out there that tune us in. Jeff said that you can afford to get your oil changed now. I don't think it ever was a problem, Jeff, the affording part. It was just knowing when to do it and knowing that you have to do it more than once a year.
Yeah, I've got it under control now, and now I will make sure I've got somebody else on my butt that is saying, hey, you gotta make sure
we're gonna make sure. Yeah, we're gonna say I'm gonna look up and go, hey, have you checked that sticker in the top left of your windshield? Hey, yeah, let's make sure the miles aren't too far off on that and the date. Let's make sure we're within at least 5,000 miles, right?
At least
of next oil change. So yeah,
I think it's 6 or 8 on my car actually.
There you go.
Back there. Sorry.
Yeah, Lucy with a little bit of a sneeze. That's just her saying congratulations to you. Lucy's always part of the show back there. But again, wanted to get that let that out since that was big news and you were like, I don't even know what we're talking about. So there it was. So it's official now. We'll have a write-up going out on our social media today. And look for a story. Go find the Alex City Outlook for all of you that aren't in the Alex City Lake Martin area. Go to alexcityoutlook.com and check it out. There'll be a story out about Faith tomorrow. I
realized that I really hate being interviewed and I really enjoy doing the interviewing. So
right.
I hated that, but yeah, go read it if you
did fine. Did a great job on that too. But yeah, it's crazy when you're interviewing somebody all the time and then it's flipped on you. It's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know how to talk to people like that.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
You would think it's just a natural deal. So, all right, a couple more things before we get off this morning. Just wrapping up, Arizona over just too much. I mean, Duke offensively, when you look at it, I thought Arizona hung in there pretty well. Arizona, led by Love, had 35 points. He was used to playing Duke, played them at North Carolina, kind of carried Arizona on his back, had 35 points, and really didn't have much help outside of that. Cooper Flagg had 30 points himself last night. That guy, I don't know how this is going to end up with the Player of the Year situation between him and Johni Broome. I think the media loves him. I think Duke's playing outstanding basketball. I know Auburn's playing good basketball, but you know, Johni kind of hasn't put together some games here. Randy's like, yeah, we're both a little high strung. So I know the type. Yeah, for sure. 100%. You know, Cooper Flagg, I'm just afraid is going to win this Player of the Year. I just think Duke and he and Duke are media darlings. And I think Cooper Flagg is definitely deserving. I definitely think Johni Broome is, and I just think Johni's maybe hit a lull at a bad time here. Again, he's had a couple game stretch here where he hasn't really performed that well, and so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people may have already made their mind up on who they're voting for Player of the Year, but Knipple had 20. 16 from James from Duke. They kind of spread it around, but Cooper Flagg had 30. And that's about what he does. And he's a versatile player. He's a different style player than Johni Broome, and he may be a little bit more of an exciting type player, for the common person out there watching and comparing. So I don't know. I just got a feeling that Cooper Flagg ends up winning Player of the Year. So
yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting kind of whatever they have to say about whoever didn't win,
Right.
But I think at this point Johni really needs to have a good night tonight. And I don't know. I think we talked about it so much that
he's going to have an opportunity. I mean, just like Cooper Flagg and everybody else in front of him, to help his team win a national title. And Cooper Flagg's going to have to play well for Duke to win one. Mark Sears is going to have to play well if they want to win one. Walter Clayton Jr. is going to have to play well if Florida is going to win one. And Johni Broome is going to have to play well if Auburn's going to win one. I know there's supporting cast members with all those teams, and somebody can kind of pick the slack up. But if you take those guys off of those teams, I don't think anybody's taking any of those teams without those players.
right.
So you got to you've just got to have your guys play their best right now, period. There is no tomorrow. And we know that. So, all right. And then the final game last night was a heartbreaker for Arkansas. They led 16 with 10 minutes to go in the game and lost in overtime, 85-83. And this Arkansas team was playing extremely good basketball. And I looked down, and Boogie Flan had 0 points. He only played 9 minutes. I know he's just coming back. Thero only played 5 minutes, had 1 point, but it was Wagner who had the last shot to tie it, to send it to double overtime, and it came up short. But Davis had 30. Knox had 20. Brazile had 11. Right there at that dunk where Brazile got fouled on the dunk, I thought, man, the game is over. They've seized all the momentum. And man, Texas Tech, just tip your hat. Fought all the way back and tied it to send it to OT, and then they win it in OT 85-83. But heartbreak for John Calipari. They were that close to getting to the Elite Eight in his first year at Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Unfortunately, that's the game I fell asleep in. But when I woke up this morning, I was going through and I watched
highlights
a lot of it. And wow, what a game. I didn't have Arkansas even making it past Kansas, maybe? Was it Kansas? I didn't have them making it past Kansas, and they screwed my bracket up right there. So I really needed Texas Tech to win this one. But yeah, I was just impressed by how well they came out and they took it to overtime. And I mean, Texas Tech, they laid it to them. They gave it to them. And with that layup that he had, I mean, I knew the ending of the game, but I was still sitting there like this when I was watching the highlights back and watching when they tried to send it into double overtime, and I was still sitting there like, oh my gosh. So I can't imagine if I was still awake watching that. I would have probably lost my mind.
It's a crazy finish. For Arkansas, that one's going to hurt. They were right there. They let a big lead get away from them there with basically 10 minutes to go in the game, and they just couldn't hold on. Some comments. Kyle said, I don't think it's actually official until she gets in the booth with y'all on a Friday night. I've listened to every one of y'all, everyone for the last 5 years, and that's where it goes down. Yeah, no doubt. We get a little crazy in there on Friday nights. Exciting time, and Faith will be part of our crew moving forward, and she's excited about that. I believe. I think.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Going to be able on the sideline to to help with Wildcat football and AHSAA football. So we're excited about the opportunity. I know that's where Faith, when I first met her and when Randy and I first met Faith back looking at an internship, that's how we got connected with Rick Smith, is getting some on-field experience and learning how to be a sideline reporter, because that's what Faith wants to do. That's what her ambition is. And there's no doubt in my mind that she's going to be there one day. And she's going to probably have some opportunities in the near future working with us on the side with other people, maybe SEC Plus and ESPN Plus and things like that, where she can do some contract work. That's what we're hoping for. We want her to go out and blaze a trail like that. But, yeah, I'm excited to have you part of this crew as well, Faith. I know Randy and I both are, and adding that aspect to our broadcast on Fridays.
Yeah, I'm excited and be able to get some reps in there. It should be a fun time. Again, I'm not from Alabama, so this Alabama high school football is a lot different than where I'm from. So I'm really excited to kind of, I mean, it's nice though that Ben Russell has a whole new coaching staff basically, except for a few of them, but
you'll just be coming right in with
well,
the rest
yeah,
of
when
them.
we were
It's like,
talking to them the other day, it's nice because we're all going into this kind of together as new Wildcats. So we'll see.
brand new Wildcats for sure. Justin said, when's the last time a team faced 3 private schools in a tournament? I have a feeling, Justin, you know the answer to that. I'm going to say, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know when a team played. And I know you're talking about Alabama with Robert Morris, St. Mary's, and BYU. So I'm not sure when the last time a team, or maybe you talking about St. Mary's, BYU, and Duke. I don't know. I mean, so I don't have an answer to that. Maybe you can help us with that. I don't know when a team has played 3 private schools in a row in an NCAA tournament. So Justin said ChatGPT didn't even know. So there you go. So I guess it maybe didn't ever happen. That could be a first there that you've dug up. So all right, let's set the stage before we get off here. We do want to thank our sponsors on the program. Again, talked about Sense of Green, Scout, and Bunkers. Let's talk about Sure Shot. I was in Sure Shot yesterday, getting ready for turkey season, and turkey season's already here. Already had some buddies shoot and kill some turkeys while we're out working. They're out hunting. So somebody's got to do it, I guess. I'll get a chance tomorrow. Looking forward to it. And we have a charity hunt that we do every year. A good buddy of mine, in honor of his dad, who was a world champion turkey hunter. So the Billy McCoy one-shot turkey tournament that will be taking place on Saturday. We're excited to be part of that. Registration will be tonight. We'll have a big event for that, and then everybody will sign up, and looking forward to that hunt. But go to Sure Shot. Went and picked up some more ammo last night, or yesterday afternoon rather, and saw the new apparel sitting in there, and man, just such a great collection of guns. So make sure you go to Sure Shot, check them out. And by the way, Scott did say that he's had people come in from seeing us here on the Auburn Blitz podcast. So we appreciate all of you that have stopped in at Sure Shot and gone in and purchased something, or just stopped in to look. And you saw us here on the Auburn Blitz and you went in and told them about it. So we appreciate it. Continue to do that. So he did pass that along. Oliver Ross, a full service bar tending service that will come out to your house or your function, or wherever it is that you're hosting a get-together party of 20 up to 20,000 fully trained and licensed and insured bartenders for your function. Make sure you call on them. Go check them out on Instagram and Facebook and get set up with them. Fraternity parties, sorority parties, whatever it is that you have, call on Oliver Ross. Don't screw up and spill it all over the floor and be an idiot. Just go hire them and let them do it and take care of it. So Just said, war down, everyone. Let's go Auburn. No doubt about it tonight at 8:39 or somewhere in the vicinity of that. Again, don't know. Depends on when Ole Miss and Michigan State get off the court. That game will tip at 6:09, and then Auburn will follow after that. Drink you some Red Bull tonight, Faith. Can't be falling asleep on this one.
Oh, I won't be. I promise you that.
High energy.
I will be up and at 'em for that game.
Also going on at 6:39, Kentucky, Tennessee. Man, that is going to be a war there. Lucas Oil Stadium, that place will be jam-packed. And then Houston and Purdue. After the Kentucky-Tennessee game, there may not be anybody left in the building. It may be like Purdue and Houston's playing in front of like a scrimmage or something, because Kentucky and Tennessee is going to have all the tickets for that game. So it may be a mass evacuation after that game is over. So, but anyway, our mind will be on the Michigan and Auburn game, and I don't really care what happens in the Houston Purdue game. Just said maybe like the U.S. soccer games last. I mean, the U.S. soccer, for any of you that follow that right now, the attendance is abhorrent, and rightfully so, because the U.S. team sucks, and we can't get soccer right here in this country for whatever reason. So anyway, that's a story for another day. But anyway, Faith and I we will be on at noon as well today on the Auburn Blitz show. So make sure you tune us in there. It'll be more of the same of what we've had this morning, but may throw a little twist or two in there. Again, before I do get off, I do want to say congrats again to our new business partner here, Faith Richardson. We're excited to have her part of our team, and looking forward to the future, Faith. And anything you'd like to add before we get off?
I'm excited. We're really going to get the ball rolling. So
already got that ball rolling this week.
A lot to come.
Not working for free anymore, right?
Not anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful Friday again. Exciting times. Auburn in the Sweet 16 tonight against Michigan. Going to be a fun time. Have a great day out there, everybody. Be safe, and a big O.
War Eagle.